5 seconds every single time.
We were all saying, like, that's such a tough team to guard. They just keep cutting and they keep moving. You have to stay alert at all times. And when you're not making shots, it just puts so much pressure on you to have to come back down and, you have to get a stop. And I think that's why the game was so close in the first half. We weren't making shots, and their style of play allowed them to stay in the game. But in the second half, when we were making shots, when we were running, we were getting fouls, and we were starting to increase the lead, it puts a lot of pressure on them. Then when they pass cut, they have to score. And we were getting stops.
CJ, Antonio, when we asked him what happened when you guys went on that 23 run, he actually accredited Severe's leadership on the court. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you would attest to, too, that he kind of stepped up in a different way when y'all went on that run?
100%. That's our leader. He had great positivity at halftime and just saying, we're going to get into our stuff. I'm going to do a better job of running our stuff. And he was just, like Tone said, he's the one that got us into what we were doing. He was defensively picking up 94 and then getting stops and then running it, finding us, and then getting us into whatever we were in.
How much do you think playing against a team like that is a lesson for you guys in seeing another style of play that can help you?
It's a great team for us to play. Like I said, you have to be alert the whole 30 seconds. And I think that's going to help us as we go down. That's basketball. We have to be locked in on every single possession. It could come down to a game could come down to one possession. Just being locked in to every possession is critical. And I think tonight really, showed us. That's kind of how it has to be for us. And our mentality, what we did tonight, has to translate to every game. That mentality of getting stops and being locked in defensively and talking.
Positive takeaways to this point.
We talk about that gritty player, and he could be that gritty player. He shows that he could be that gritty player, grabbing rebounds, diving on the floor, playing defense. Obviously, he struggles in some points, but that just comes with playing more games. So it'll click for him, and he could be really good for us.
Jacob, Coach Cal said in the second half, later in that second half, the things that you were doing could be the things that separate you from being special. That could make you special in this league, in this SEC play. What are some of the things that you did different late in the second half that maybe you weren't doing at the beginning of the game?
I just played through contact. I was more physical. I wasn't shying away from anything. And that's what he always tells me. I need to be more physical. And that's what it is. If I'm more physical on my drives, taking the bump instead of accepting the bump, I could be able to finish around the rim better, and everything just will seem better, so I could be a better player.
When you guys went on that run, Coach Cal talked about it, and we asked Antonio, and he said one of the main things was Severe's leadership on the floor.
Definitely.
Is that something that you would attest to that helped when you guys went on that 20-3 run?
100%. Everyone was sluggish in the first half, but Xavier was there to help us in the second half with his energy, his leadership, and on and off the court. And just him being that leader and that facilitator on offense that we need. We need that from him, and you've seen what happened when he decided to step up.
You were talking, I think, a little bit about some of the being a little more aggressive. Did you feel like sort of the way the Gonzaga game ended, where you were confident and letting it fly and they start to go down, no hesitation? Then this little burst in the game tonight where you had, I think, 3 or 4 buckets in a row by attacking with no hesitation. When you see those in yourself, does that remind you, okay, this is the best version of me? This is the kind of stuff I got to do more?
I mean, yeah, I said it before. I'm not going to force anything. I'm going to just let the game come to me, because when I force things, good things don't usually happen. So, honestly, I'm just focusing on defense and rebounding, and the offense will come. You've seen in the first half how we were sluggish, 21-21 at the half. That's insane. But, you get it. We just came back and understood what we needed to do defensively, and the offense came.
How important is it that, I talked about CJ and Antonio, and said, how do you guys like to get your shot? Where do you feel comfortable? And both of them said with some amount of motion, where I'm catching it in rhythm.
Right.
How important then is it to move the ball offensively so that, the defense is moving, so that the shot makers are on the move and catching it kind of in rhythm?
Yes, I mean, there's always some points where we could get stagnant and just hold the ball, but when we're moving the ball, when we're driving, cutting, passing, we're at our best, and it shows. Shooters are making shots, we're getting drives, we're getting dunks, we're getting layups, we're getting pull-ups. When we're playing that type of brand of basketball, good things happen for us.
They look for me and I'm wide open. That definitely keeps me going.
is getting them wide open threes.
CJ said too, kind of the same thing, that he likes to have a little bit of motion, like to be sort of moving into the shot as opposed to standing still, catch and shoot. Is that, you feel sort of the same way?
Yeah, just being able, like you said, just running and being in motion, try to get that rhythm, with that 1-2 step. That definitely helps us shooters.
How much has that been sort of an emphasis? CJ said, obviously you guys have the transition part down, you guys know how to run, but you guys have been working on, okay, when they take that away and they force you into a kind of grind, half-court situation, running some actions to get some of those type of looks.
Yeah. We definitely, if our shot not going in transition, you definitely got to look for something else. And, that's what we did, just ran some of our plays, come off some screens and, get open looks. So, yeah.
I think you were talking about this before I got here, but what's it like playing with CJ out on the court for you?
Man, it's great playing with CJ on the court. It's we knock down shooters, and we just basically if I see him hit one, it makes me want to hit one for sure. So just that confidence built, when we both on the floor.
What for you? When do you know? It seems like you go in these spurts where you see one go down and then the next one everybody kind of expects that one to go down. When do you know? All right, I'm rolling now.
Yeah, like you said, when that first one went down, it definitely built my confidence. I just needed to see one, go in because I missed 3 in the first half, and as a shooter, you just gotta keep shooting, and you just gotta stay focused on what the team gotta do.
This fan base seems to really want to see all the shooters on the floor together. I know you guys all want to be on the floor together. How much pressure is on you then on the other end to get it done defensively? So Cal has said, like, we want them out there, but we can't be trading baskets.
Yeah, just locking up on defense and just focusing in practice, trying to get better at those things, because defensively, I need to get better too. So, I just focused in and try to get better defensively.
Junior, what's it like physically and mentally when the opponent is taking 30, 35 seconds every trip?
Man, it's mentally tired, but as a basketball player, you just got to push through those things, because normal teams don't do that to other teams. So definitely just you got to come together as a team and build off each other energy out there and talk and communicate.
How unusual is it? There are times when they don't even put the ball on the ground. They don't dribble too much and attack. A lot of passing. You don't see that.
Yeah, you don't see that often, man. It's definitely something new that we seen in a long time, and as the film, we seen all that passing and dribbling and stuff. We weren't used to that stuff, so it's different. So yeah.
Something Coach Cal talked about a couple games ago was like the belt that he gives out after wins, like the wrestling belt for most impactful player. And he said he started after you guys came back from the Bahamas. So I was curious, like as a player group, what do you think when they introduced that? And I guess what's the competitiveness level like to win that after you guys win games?
It's definitely a good thing that we can compete, for those type of things, because as a team, you definitely want to be in that category of, always getting the belt, and things of that sort. But, it's definitely a grind, and, if you earn it, other teammates is happy for you as well, and it just builds confidence in you.
How much of a confidence and morale boost is it for some of these early season games, to perform well against, teams that might not be in league play?
Say that one more time.
Sorry, just like how much of a confidence and morale boost is it for some of these early season games to, I guess, kind of have that kind of, thing you can win in addition to the game?
It's definitely a confidence boost. Winning from, by a big margin, it definitely helps the team. But, those hard games, it's come down to the grind, and it's going to be a close game. So, these games, it just helps us build on the defensive, offensive end, and, that's what we're looking for.
Is there a point in the night where you look, across at the opponent and say, man, these guys are here to win?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, they play hard out there. You could definitely tell by, all of the cuts and screens they're running out there. They definitely setting them hard and cutting through hard. So they definitely give it 100% out there. So, they're definitely, trying to be there to win.
Did it help that they had played some really good people too, and you guys knew they had been competitive against Duke and UCLA, Clemson?
Yeah, man, I seen some of them games, and yeah, they're definitely a good team. I won't say they're not at all, because the stuff they do out there is not what ordinary teams do, and actually it's effective too. So it's definitely a good, they're a good team. So, yeah.
Is that style?
This guy, bro.
Is that style the way they play? Can practice only prepare you so much for that? Is just what happens in game? Is that a lot different, or do you feel like the preparation really did help for what they were trying to do?
Yeah, the preparation for us or them?
Yeah, for you guys, just in practice, do you feel like what you all simulated helped enough in game to where you know what the real thing was?
Yeah, definitely scout team definitely helped us, what they were doing out there. They definitely locked in and definitely, ran all the cuts and screens that they will run out there. So, being in practice for 2 or 3 days and running those things, that just prepare us to be out there to get it done.
Was there anything specific in that second half that just kind of clicked for you, or was it just the team in general? Talking about Severe and his leadership down the court.
Yeah, definitely his leadership, but as a team as a whole, we all locked in together, and definitely told ourselves that we would be out there just, competing and talking, and just on the defensive end. So that's what it was.